Welcome to the Real Healing Institute. My name is Michelle Sinclair. I am a divine healer and spiritual teacher. If you happen to live in Sedona, you can come and attend one of our Christ Light Circles live. If not, we do them very regularly, and you can attend them through Zoom. These are donation based. If you don't even get the funds, you can just pop on. We want you to be there. There are some really deep, profound things that come through that are very helpful. It's me and my friend. She is an activator, and there will be energy that comes through. You'll definitely feel it. It will shift things. I will see the energy that is present. We'll watch it shifting, and then I will tune in, and whatever messages need to come through, they will come through for the group, and they are deep and profound. I never know where they're going, but they always get wrapped up in a really beautiful way. So I just need to tell you about something that came through the other night. We were having a circle, and I'm having this vision, and it starts out with this person on a train, and it's a really beautiful landscape all around, but the person on the train, they don't know where they're going, and they just have a ticket that says ticket on it. And so they say to the other people on the train, they're like, guys, like, where are we going? And then all the people on the train, they just laugh, and they don't tell them. But this person's, not really disturbed. It's a really beautiful ride. So they're like, okay. And so they just keep going. And they're going, and eventually they come to this small town and this train station. And so they get off, and there's all these people standing around, and they say, hey, where am I? And all the people there, they just laugh, and they don't tell them, and they're like, oh, okay, but this person is still, they're not disturbed at all. They want to know where they are, but they don't really seem to actually care too much. And so they go over, and they go to the dude that's working at the train station, and he says, the person says, hey, can you tell me where we are? And the train worker says, you don't know where you are? You bought a ticket and you don't even know where you are? And then they just laugh. And so they're still not finding out where they're at. But then eventually this person stays in this place, and the years go by, and then their family joins them, and their friends join them, and they're in this beautiful place, and they're all sitting around this table, and everybody's eating. It's like outdoors, and they're just enjoying life, and things are truly wonderful. And I'm like, dude, where is this going? I'm not quite understanding the message, because this is, how these things come through, little bits. And then I'm shown that they're back on the train, and it's going back to right at the very start, and it's showing how completely different it would be if the people on the train had a different attitude. If everybody was sitting there and they were all upset and they were all worked up, or they were angry, or whatever it happened to be, and this person has a ticket and they're like, where are we going? And everyone is just sitting there really angry, what a completely different experience that would be. And so this was showing that life is just a journey, it's a destination, and that it's extremely enjoyable if you surround yourself with people who are happy. And it would be extremely unnerving, unenjoyable, and you would fill yourself with fear and confusion and stress and strain if you surrounded yourself with people who were not that way. And it was quite a profound message, because I realized, man, I'm a really happy person. And if I want to continue to have a happy life, I need to ensure and make sure that I am surrounding myself with people who are like that as well, because they are what makes the ride truly enjoyable. And, that person on the train, they felt really safe. They felt really, good. But had they been surrounded by people who didn't make them feel this way, their journey, their life, their experience would have been completely different. So that's something to note. Somebody needed to hear that. When I was, several years ago, I was out jumping on the trampoline with my daughter. Now, keep in mind, I meditate really regularly. What I would be doing typically, back in the day in these meditations, if I need something, is I would be doing hypnotherapy on myself. So I'm out on the trampoline with my daughter. It's a hot day, so I take my hoodie off and I tie it around my waist. We're jumping. Anyways, we're done. I'm like, okay, dude, I'm gonna go in and meditate. So I go to my room, lay in my bed, and I'm meditating. And this is how I do this. So like, I follow the sensations in my body. So I close my eyes and I'm laying there and I'm like, oh man, like I'm feeling this tension around my midsection. What is this? So what I do is regressions. I'm trying to follow this feeling back to where it began, but nothing came up. This has never happened. Something always comes up, and I'm like, what is going on? And so I like take myself back. I'm like, okay, hold on to that feeling, really hold on to it, follow it back. Nothing's coming up. Anyways, eventually I open up my eyes and I look down and I realize, right, I had my hoodie tied around my waist. That was where the tension was coming from. It was restricting me right around my waist, and I just start laughing. And so my daughter walks down the hallway because she hears me laughing, and she's like, what is so funny? And I'm like, dude, we were just jumping on the trampoline. I tied it around my waist. I'm doing hypnosis on myself anyway. And I told her the story. And then she's laughing, and she thought it was funny. And she looks at me real serious, and she says, yep. Sometimes it's your environment. And it really hit me. It really hit me because at this point, my life had already changed. I had, I had realized some things. I had become aware of some things in my life with my husband that he had done, and I was in this "what am I gonna do" phase. And so for her telling me this, it was extremely helpful because I always thought I could fix everything within myself. I'm like, no, I just need to change myself, and then no matter where I'm at, it's going to be totally cool. I'm going to be fine. And so this had been going on for months and months and months and months at this point, that I had found out some information and was deciding what I was going to do. But I'm like, no, I can fix this all within myself. And her telling me that was the first shock to my system that I got, that let me know, because I knew that this was being delivered through her to me from the divine. And this shocked my system into, hey, Michelle, maybe it's not. Maybe you can't fix everything inside of you. And I was like, So then I took that forward with me. And I don't typically dream. I mean, I must. But I don't usually remember it, and I spend so much of my day in a theta state, whether we're in circles or whether I'm meditating or whether I'm just, communing with the divine. I spend so much time in that I'm like, maybe this is why I don't dream. I'm not sure. But anyway, so I asked for a dream. I asked for a sign. And expected, obviously, I asked the divine for something, I'm going to get it, and I did. And I was given a dream that I woke up and I was quite disturbed by, because it was what had happened already happening again in the future, but this time it was so much worse, because now I wasn't just mad at what he did, I was now just beside myself that I had stayed and that I had allowed it to happen again. And so sometimes when we need answers, we think, where am I going to get this answer from? Where am I going to get this answer from? But if we just ask the divine, and if we pray about it, and if we seek, we will find it. We will get the clarity that we're looking for. So the other day, there was a situation, and there was somebody around me that was extremely angry. And this really got me, they weren't angry at me. They were just in my environment and in my vicinity. And this brought back so many triggers from my past, but I wasn't realizing that that's what was happening at the time. And, where I had been before, whew, it was a lot to take when you're with someone who's so extremely angry all the time. And so this is a repeat of that, but I'm not even checked into this is why this is bothering me so much. And so my immediate reaction is, I got to get the F out of here. Like, I can't be here. I have made a mistake. I need to leave. I need to run away as fast as I possibly can. It was corrected. And in fact, it was this person's trigger from a situation that had happened, that they were in trigger state, so they were reacting this way, which put me into my own trigger state. And so this was actually a beautiful, beautiful divine blessing, because it illuminated things for the both of us that could then be worked out. And it's like, what a blessing. What a wonderful gift that was. So one thing I realized from this, well, I realized many, many things from this, but was that I know this, right? Because I tell you guys this all the time, and I deeply know it, but that everything is a blessing. And I was like, why wouldn't this also be? But at the time, because I was so triggered from my past, I couldn't think straight. I couldn't even see that clearly. And that didn't even actually come into my mind that it could possibly be a blessing. Everything else that's healed within me is a blessing, right? There was an interesting situation that happened out on the streets in Sedona the other day that I'll tell you about sometime. But one of the people I was with, got really stressed out and took this as a negative type thing, temporarily. And I was like, no, this is the most wonderful thing that could have ever happened. Like, this is an actual blessing straight from the divine. And there was no denying in my mind that it was a complete and total blessing. And I felt that right from the start of this, like, what a wonderful thing this is. What a wonderful thing this is. Whereas, the other person that I was with didn't have the same response because it was triggering things within them. So what happens later that day, that very same day, a situation comes up where I get triggered, right? I'm in this angry, environment temporarily, and I get triggered. And with the, like, I want to run away response. And so I'm telling you this because there will be something that triggers you, and the only way that this can happen is if that part is not healed within you. Because if it's healed within you, nothing can get you, nothing can trigger you. So I'm taking this situation and realizing so very many things about it. First of all, the fact that I wanted to leave the environment and run away is telling me that I was judging the situation. I didn't need to do this. I wasn't the one who was angry. I didn't need to judge it. I could have laughed. I typically do. That's typically my response to things, but this particular thing, that wasn't the case. It was very disruptive. I had been with somebody, a while ago, and the same type of thing would happen. They weren't angry, but they would make these really loud noises intentionally on purpose to disrupt my nervous system. I think that maybe they thought that it was funny when I would react in this way. But it's because I was, deeply disturbed from something that had happened in the past. And so it would send this shock, this trigger through my body. And I really didn't like it. And realizing that then, I don't know why I just allowed it and didn't go inside and heal this thing, because I don't want to carry this forward. As long as I'm carrying this, feeling forward, it will continue to come up again, because when I get triggered, then I feel it, and then the seed is planted, and then it comes up again in the future. This is how this works. So when we can heal these things within ourselves and we cannot get triggered. We are then not having an overly emotional response to something. And then when we don't have that response, we're not planting a seed that is then going to be nurtured and watered and through electromagnetism returned back to us at some later date. So when you can heal these things within you, I'm going to give you some hot tips, right? I have that mental cleanse series on here. You find the thing that triggers you, whatever emotion it is, and go and do the video with that specific thing in mind. Follow it back, find out where it came from, drain it out, heal it. And as you do this, then when you go forward, that thing's not going to be there. But we have so many layers. I've seen the love. I've experienced it. I can help people to heal themselves. There's all these amazing, wonderful things that can happen, and yet still within me, there's always the work to be done, right? If the work's done, what's there left to do here in this life? Just enjoy the train ride? Okay, that's what I'm working towards. I'm enjoying the train ride and the destination. So if you have something that disturbs you or that you want to judge in someone else, then it is something within yourself that needs to be healed, and it is something within yourself that you do that you have not acknowledged that you do. Lots of people don't like that. It can make them really feel uncomfortable. If something really bothers them about somebody else, and they're like, what do you mean this has to do with me? Well, it's either something that's not healed about something, and so now it's being replanted over and over and over and over and over again. Or if it really bothers you, it's something that you haven't acknowledged about yourself that you need to heal within yourself. And so, an example would be this friend who was really insecure about her body, her weight, all these things, and she would always make comments about other people's body and their weight, which is just, I don't know. I don't even understand this, because we're souls. Those things don't matter. Those things don't matter to me, but they matter to somebody who they matter to, right? To somebody who hasn't healed that within themselves. And if they haven't healed that within themselves, then it will appear they will have actual body issues because they haven't healed this thing within themselves. They're judging themselves. They don't love themselves the way that they are. So then they judge other people and they don't love other people the way that they are. This is how it works. And this is why I was like, okay, now I can just heal everything within myself, and then my husband's going to change, and all these things are going to happen. And it's like, dude, no, this was a gift for you so that you could get the F out of there. But it took me a long time to be able to get to that point that I realized that that's what was going down. And that there is no way that I was going to be able to be myself and be supported and step into my purpose here on earth had I stayed where I was at before. But I was making excuses to stay because I wanted to. I wanted things to be good there. I wanted it to not be the way that it was, but it was. And we have these things that happen in life that will send us to where we need to go, and will put us through what we need to go through to take us to the final destination. And sometimes that train ride, man, it can be filled with people that are yelling and screaming and fighting, and you want to get off that train. And you don't even know where you're going. What's the final destination? I don't even know. This is life, man. But it really matters who's on that train with you, because while you're on that train, that is your life. When what you do matters today, because you're exchanging a day of your life for it. I don't know who made that quote, but it's beautiful. And when we are pursuing the spiritual life, there will be things that come up that can be extremely difficult. So what is hard for you might not be hard for me. That might not be the thing. And what is hard for me, it might not be the thing for you. I know that there's people who have, stayed in situations like I had been in, and they think, oh, that's, that's not that big of a deal. And to me, I've been done and through it, and that was the most difficult thing that I'd ever had to go through, because there had been so much love and so much trust and so much "you're my best friend" and so much happiness and so much wonderful things that were there, only to realize this was not the case. I had the blinders on and wasn't seeing actual reality. And taking those glasses off, especially when you've been wearing them, the rose-colored glasses for like 20 years, that's tricky. and it was extremely difficult for me. But because that happened, all the good and wonderful things have fallen into place since then. All the good and all the wonderful, beautiful, heavenly blessings have fallen into place. They still happened then. I still had the love then. But now I've actually stepped into my power. And now I have abilities that back then were suppressed within me because of outside influences, and I suppressed them within myself because I didn't fully trust myself, because I was there. I didn't fully love myself. There were so many things. And you might think like, oh, does it really matter? Does it really matter if I don't really love myself? Yeah, it does. Because as long as you don't have all your power. And you came here, and you came here from many lifetimes, and you've accumulated all kinds of spiritual gifts. And as long as you remain unhealed, you don't have full access to them. And every time that you do heal something, these big shifts occur, and you get more of it. You get more of it. You get more of it. But what you're actually getting is a purer access to the divine, which is where all of your gifts come from. And so as long as you remain unhealed in certain areas, these unhealed parts don't allow you full access to the divine. Let's say that 40% of you is not healed. Well, cool. And 60% of you is connected to the divine, but 40%'s not. That's a pretty big deal. And as you heal that, okay, now you only got 30% that's not healed. Perfect. So now you're at 70% connection with the divine, and you'll be able to tell the difference. You'll feel it. You'll notice it. You'll notice things change in your life. You'll notice that not only do you feel different, but that you have access to different spiritual gifts. And once you get to the 100, once you get that full access, that 100% pure love flowing down, and you understand and you see and you're like, oh, I can't believe I forgot. I mean, at that point you understand why you had to forget. You understand how come you had to go through the things. You understand all of the things. And when that happens, then you realize it was all done for love. Every little tiny bit of it was done out of love. And then you can't look at your life the same. Because those people who you used to be mad at for this or that, you're like, oh, there's nothing to even forgive. It was a gift that they gave to me. What a beautiful gift. And then you realize the people that you meet or the things that happen that you think, oh, this is a bad thing. You realize, no, it's not. That there's nothing that is, because it's all for love. It's all working towards the love. And as soon as you get that connection, you cannot see the world the same. There is no seeing it the same, and people will not understand you, because if they are not there, they won't get it. And they will think that they are a victim of their life and that things sometimes just happen. And they won't understand. They won't have gained the universal picture. They won't understand the laws of the universe and how it actually operates. And because of this, they will have self-created hell that they don't even realize that they're doing. Because they will allow themselves to feel terrible and miserable. And so not only are they creating hell for themselves in that moment, and it's only coming from their mind, Not only are they creating that in that moment, but because they are in that moment and electromagnetism is so real, they're planting it, it's going out and it's going to return to them again. And then when it comes back to them again, they're going to do the same thing again and plant it again and reap it again and plant it again and reap it again. And they will not realize that it is them doing this to themselves. It's not the divine. It's not the devil. It's the laws of the universe and how it works. And so when something comes into your life and it is less than desirable, immediately be thankful for it. Immediately be thankful for it and search your mind and think, where did this come from? Where did I feel like this last? When did I last plant that seed? And then when you can identify that, then you can be so thankful and you can think, oh, okay, good. Now that I know I have proof. Now I have proof that I have planted this myself and I'm not going to do that again. And then you will no longer waste any of your beautiful, precious life planting seeds of things that you do not want to harvest in the future, because you will see and you will get the proof over and over and over again. And I mean, we got human minds, man, and so they want to fall back in the old patterns and they want to say, no, but this is the exception to the rule. You know, this one isn't that way. Maybe those other ones were, but this one isn't that way. And I'm telling you, not the case. It's always coming from something that was planted in the past, whether it was this life or a past life. So if there was things that happened in childhood, very often it is the karma, almost always, that is playing out from previous incarnations. And you asked for it. You chose those parents. You chose the hard lessons. You chose whatever it was that you went through when you were little. You chose it. Because it was part of this life's mission and purpose. And it needed to be that way, and it could be no other way. Because when you can do that really hard thing, when you can heal that really difficult thing, man, you've gained so much strength, you've gained so much power. You've done something within you that seemed impossible, but yet you did it. And if you can do it, and you can do it with a good attitude, then that whole time you're planting these beautiful seeds that you're going to reap in the future. So anytime something comes up, you know, we're kind of just talking about triggers here. Anytime something comes up, look at yourself, follow it back. When did this begin? When was the first time? What have I not? Why is this bothering me so much? Where did it come from? And then don't be mad at that person, because more than likely it'll be attached to a person. But look at that and think, okay, I guess I need to really heal this situation. I guess I haven't healed that, because if I had, this thing wouldn't still be bothering me. When it comes up, I could laugh about it instead of get upset about it. Instead of feeling like I need to run away about it. Just like what happened to me the other day. And sometimes we think, oh, every single little one of these things is healed. And this is how you know. When something comes up and you're like, oh, okay, I guess it's not. And then in that moment, you can be thankful for it. And you can think, okay, thank you for showing me, divine, because I'm seeking mastery here. I don't want to just, go through my life not being thoughtful, not considering anything. I want to master all these things because I don't want to carry this forward, because I don't ever want to plant seeds that I don't want, which requires mastery. And so then any situation that presents itself, you can look at this, okay, here, I have an opportunity for mastery in this moment. And then when you can ask the divine for assistance, ask your guides and angels, and take yourself in, maybe even go and get some subconscious help for certain things. This is why there's billions of us on the planet, because we need people. And as we can heal these things within ourselves, we heal the world around us, because then those triggers, those things from the past that were unhealed, no longer come up, because we've learned the lesson. Nothing left to heal. Pattern does not need to continue to repeat anymore. So this is what I have for you guys here today. Thank you guys for tuning in as always. Love you so much. I've been so busy here where I'm at doing these Christ Light Circles. Please follow us on the Cosmic Christ Force, and you can see the work that we're doing. And it's, messages that are sometimes hilarious, sometimes deep, sometimes profound, but sometimes all three of those things, and pretty much almost always all three of those things all combined. You can go check us out over on there. I'll probably post some of those videos. I've done a few of these circles here myself the last few days. We've been really busy, and I had to do that, and so I'll probably post some of those here on this page so you guys can check it out. But you guys can join us. The schedule for May, for the first few weeks anyways, is up, and my content might not be coming out here daily, and I'm also going to be going and visiting my grandson up in Canada here right away, that adorable little fella. So thank you guys for tuning in here today. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.